Hi, I'm Yegi. I'm an entrepreneur and success coach who wants it all. Family, luxury, career, and the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I created the Yegi Project to document my journey and inspire others to do the same. My mission is to change the world by influencing and leading others to do what they love and live fulfilled lives.
Hello. Welcome back to the Yegi Project. Today we have another solo episode, hoping to work on ourselves. So this episode was actually inspired for me to redo my office. So I wanted almost like a fresh start. It's the end of the year. I wanted to do something in order to have even more abundance or even more prosperity in 2025. I did a little research and I was like, okay, well, how can we get creative? I just feel like redoing this space, and Feng Shui came up. So I thought it was going to be interesting to do some research and learn about Feng Shuiing your business and office for prosperity and wealth and abundance and more money and more success and all that good stuff, right? Everything that we want our business to be or our lives to be. We want to be successful. So I did some research, I took some notes, and I redid my office. So I'll give you guys a quick tour of a before after time lapse, maybe somewhere here or at the end of the video or on social media. I haven't decided yet, but let's talk about it. So what is Feng Shui? Is it spiritual? Is it superstitious? What is it, right? It is ancient, like 4,000 years ago, Chinese belief that Feng Shui, the way you do your space, really affects the energy and the flow of energy into your life and your business. So for that reason, there's a set of rules and do's and don'ts of how you set up a space, if it's office, a business, your home, in order to attract good energy and wealth. The more I looked into it, the more research I did, the more it became clear that Feng Shui, even if you're not spiritual, even if you're not superstitious or believe in energy or anything like that, you could really benefit from it. Anybody can benefit from it if we follow these rules. So whatever you want to call it, but it is Feng Shui. Let's jump into the do's and don'ts in order to have more clarity, more abundance, more balance, and overall more success in your business or in your life. Since this is an entrepreneurial podcast, I decided to start with redoing my office. So I Feng Shuied my office. And that's what we're going to talk about, your office and work, okay? But you can pretty much apply all these principles in anything else, so any room. So my plan so far is I did my office. There's still a few final touches I need to do, which we'll talk about. But next, I'm going to go into the front entrance of my business, then the main warehouse of my business, then the other offices, and then my home. So I'm going to tack one room at a time, right? So that's kind of the way you want to work on this project, because depending on where you are with your clutter and organization, that's kind of what's going to determine how long it's going to take you. Now, overall, I like to be pretty organized. But once I started getting into this, I realized, wow, I could be way more organized. I could get rid of all these things that have no purpose. But let's jump into it. So I'm going to refer to these as desk and office, but it applies the same way to your bed and bedroom. Start off with, for your desk, the biggest piece of furniture, hopefully in your office, you want to make sure you're starting off with it at the right location. So I didn't know that, but you do not want your desk facing a wall. And this is such a common mistake. And I was making this mistake because when your desk is facing a wall, it pretty much is blocking any sort of abundance or any sort of good energy coming to you. Instead, you want your desk to have open space in front of it. So think of it as actually, the next thing, don't face the wall, but instead you want your desk to face the door. So wherever I'm sitting with my desk, I should be seeing the door right in front of me. But another thing with that is you don't want to be in line with the door. So for example, my door is going right there on the left side, okay, of my room. And my desk is now facing the door on the left, but it's not in line with the desk on the left. I put my desk on the right facing the door. And it actually works out really great because in my office, I also have a window on this side. So now the natural light is coming towards me instead of behind me. So once I moved my desk, it honestly automatically felt like, hey, the space feels more welcoming in a weird way. Before this, I loved my office still because obviously I decorated how I wanted to, but something did shift, like I noticed it. So that's what the position of your desk. And another thing too, you do want to have a solid wall behind your desk. So I did put also a bookshelf so I can have some nice things that mean stuff to me and also have a nice clean, beautiful background for my videos, but you do want a desk to have a wall behind, you want a wall behind you for stability and support. Another benefit of putting your desk facing the door, so not having it be against the wall, is you can now have space to put chairs or even a chair in front of your desk for like a guest, which will symbolize and represent a customer or customers coming into your office. So imagine big time CEO offices, they all have chairs in front of their desks. They're in and out of meetings. People are coming, meeting with them, right? So that's what we want to symbolize. We want chairs. Even if your business is fully online, you want chairs in front of your desk to symbolize more customers, more sales, and all that good stuff. You want to avoid sitting at any wall that has the back to a bathroom or staircase. These are known to attract negative energy. So another thing for the office too, you want to have a plant or some wealth bowl or crystals, anything that's going to represent wealth in close to your front door. So I just put a big plant right next to my door, which I can also face. It's green, it's beautiful. So that's kind of one other thing that you can make sure you have an element of a plant. But one thing you want to be careful, you do not want to have any spiky plants like cactuses, because this does bring negative energy instead of positive energy. And last but not least, about your space, you want to have a clear pathway. So you don't want anything blocking the door. You want to make sure it's clear and there's nothing blocking it. So you shouldn't have any furniture directly in front of your door, even if it's like a little stand, anything like that. So you want a clear pathway from your door to your entrance and all throughout your space. The next thing is lighting and air quality. So we all know fresh air is really good for us. And we all know natural sunlight is good for us. So if you have a window, make sure you're getting a lot of natural light from it. Don't close it and block it off. And also open it daily to freshen out your space. Clean air in, let the old air out. If there are no windows in your office, put an air purifier. That can help, and put a lot of lighting. You want it to be as bright as possible. The better the lighting. And also, if we have really good lighting and good air quality, there are studies that show your brain does work better. You don't get sleepy and you could be more focused and wanting to keep going with what you're doing. The next thing I want to talk about is decluttering and organizing. Now, this one's kind of an obvious one, but also might be a hard one, because we may even have a bunch of papers on our desk or in our office that we think we need, that we're using, we might need one day, and it's hard to kind of throw away or figure out what to do with it. So first of all, don't have any loose paper all around the place. Have a tray. You can put a bunch of papers in there and at least it's kind of out of the way, and then slowly go through it and see if you need it. If there are papers that you no longer need or you might need for any reference, you can scan and organize in folders electronically to keep it more nice. In your office, you only want everything that's serving a purpose. So even if I have a book, if it does not serve me in any way and it's not relevant right now, I don't really want it here. I want to put it somewhere else. I want to get rid of it, right? And again, anything that is just there and it gives us kind of that question mark is, why is this even here? Does this serve a purpose? If your answer is not initially, oh yes, this is for X, Y, and Z, then you want to get rid of it. The less stuff you have, this is where the minimalistic thing comes in, the more space you have for good energy to flow and for you to focus and clearly do your work. And of course, attract abundance and wealth and all that good stuff. So make sure you are getting rid of anything that does not have a purpose. And like I said, I thought I was very organized and clean, but when I went through all my stuff, I literally had like 4 bags of things that I got rid of out of my office. Either I threw away, so I was like, I don't need this, or I don't think I'll ever need, or it was decorative stuff that had no purpose and it was just too much and I just took it out. Once I go through each space and those things don't belong anywhere, then I'm going to give it away. but literally the less stuff, and I know this personally because the more I clean, the more I minimize, the more I organize, the more things I have in my possession that really have a purpose, that make me feel good, the better I'm feeling and the more happy I am, which leads me to being more productive, which leads to more success and all that good stuff. So I think it really, really does work. But it can be an animal to focus on decluttering depending on where you're at, because we do accumulate a lot of stuff over time. If it's in our closets, in our offices, in our homes, everywhere, in our cars even. So what I've committed to is 30 minutes a day of decluttering. So I did my initial decluttering of the office because this is where I get all my good work done. This was important to me. I spent hours and hours making it how I wanted for me to feel good in my office and to meet all these Feng Shui elements. But besides the office, there is still stacks of paper that is kind of organized that I'm going to go through 30 minutes a day. So if I were to do everything in one day or a week, it's too overwhelming and it's just not fun. It's more likely we're never going to get through everything. But if we just do in bite-sized pieces and do 30 minutes a day, it's literally going to act like therapy. It feels so good to declutter and organize and get rid of stuff. And if we do it 30 minutes a day, it's not that much time commitment, and it's just going to get better and better and better within time. But some days I find that actually, even when I did it for 30 minutes, I end up doing it for an hour and a half, because I just don't want to stop when I started. And the time that I do it, just so I can make sure I'm flowing and I'm productive in the big chunk of my day, is when I'm starting to feel kind of fatigued and tired, or I've already done a lot of brain work in the morning and I need a break. That's my break. And it surprisingly recharges me, then I could keep going. So we talked about decluttering and organizing. Don't forget about all the digital files, especially your desktop. You're looking at this every day. You do not want your desktop to have so many files, so much clutter, because it is going to be blocking good energy and your workflow. Only have the files that you're currently working on and slowly organize all the other files to have a purpose and a space. If something is not even being used, you can archive or delete and get rid of. More likely, if you haven't referred to something for over a year, even 2 years, you're not really going to need it. Things evolve and change. And I found, honestly, that sometimes starting fresh is the best. A lot of times when I just get rid of a pile of clutter or whatever it is that I might think I may need one day, I never ever even think about it or need it. And if I do end up thinking, oh, I needed that one item, it's cheap and easy, or really not a lot of time consuming to replace it or find it. So declutter, find your own system, find your own way. And there's a lot of information out there. You can even search online for ideas and ways to declutter and organize, but that's a huge part of it. That's a huge part of your life that can be stopping you from thinking clearly and being productive and attracting success into your life. Even good relationships. So the Feng Shui also applies to relationships. So if you don't have great relationships in your life, even the clutter and organization and all these Feng Shui things can be getting in your way. So focus on it. Be purposeful with your space. Oh, and there's also this belief that 1/3 of our success or wealth has to do with our space. So pay attention to it. I don't know how true this is. I haven't fact checked it, but it kind of makes sense, because every successful person I know are very organized and they're very purposeful with their space and their things. People that don't have their life together tend to be more unorganized and have more stuff. Before we end the podcast, and if you really want to be an overachiever, you also want to balance the 5 elements in your room. So you want to have something that is wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So an example of wood, it can be a plant or a wooden furniture. Fire can be anything like a candle or light. Earth can be anything that's like crystals, ceramics. A metal, of course, could be any metal furniture as well. And water could be a waterfall or any small water feature, or you can add blues and blacks in your room to symbolize water. So keep that in mind. Choose what you want and how you want to live, and attract them. Be the most successful person that you can be. And if you have any tips or tricks or comments or anything you want to share with our audience, please make sure to comment below. I would love to hear your experience, and let me know what was the newest thing you learned in this video that could help you.
Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. Follow and engage with us on social media under the Yegi Project. And if you're interested in being a guest, email info@theyegiproject.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.